Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I now have epilepsy-inducing flickering in my screen. That's fine. I'll just deal with that.
They've rolled out a buggy update.
Yeah,
We shouldn't be getting flickering.
yeah. All right, that's cool. Now I will attempt to share my screen as I delicately rebuild the stack of technology that I depend on just to have a chat. We have the computer connection. We have the presentation
and
connection.
I see your screen. Excellent.
All right, without further ado, let us begin. You were telling me that you feel my pain. Tell me.
No, it was just an aside. Because so what I did yesterday is to use the landing agent to create a process loop of 5 agents and get that to call it a loop because it's just basically one agent to one agent. There's nothing in parallel. I didn't care what the test data is, and then went through a couple of cycles of getting it to consider how best to prompt an agent to create tests like this with the intention of testing the whole system and hit as much as we can. It did a good job of that, and I think this is as far as I got. So now I've got a number of tests, which the very first time I went through that loop, I was being the test creator, and I did 3 loops, and the agents, as per metrics proposed, were improving each time, and I sense checked them. And that was very good. I did a second one. Again, I don't really care what the test data is, and I came up with something weird like humidity in the ISS or something like that. But the metrics were improving each time I went through that improvement loop. And that improvement loop was landing agent, have a look at these agents and look at what I'm intending to do and what the output was, and then look at their sysprompts, rewrite them, kill the old ones, create some new ones, and rerun the test, sort of thing. And the final one is, I don't want to have to be bothered telling you about this, so create an agent to do that for me that creates these loops and shows an improvement on the loop in order to raise up any problems that you're getting or any local minima or anything like that. And that's as far as I got. But my comment about feeling your pain is it was going much faster than I could actually process.
Yeah, right. Like we are the holdup.
I'm the bottleneck. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
and
like
it's quite hard to process it all.
Yeah, and it was dense information. It was
Yeah.
really well well formatted, understandable, but it's not something you can skim read.
No.
So it's like I'll do 2 minutes of token burn, and then 30 minutes of reading through.
I know, and it's like I do this. Ah, man, yeah, it's quite hard.
It
Anyway,
was quite frustrating actually, because I thought if only I could do that 30 minutes faster, then I could do a lot faster.
yeah, it's like you need middle management.
Yeah. So, which is why the last thing I did last night was create that agent that used the process that I'd been doing to create the tests, but I've not tested that agent.
All right, so I got some bad news and some good news.
You're killing the agent to agent, or you said you're breaking it, not killing it.
Yeah,
Is that one
well, it's more or less the same. So listen, I messed up, and what's a nice way to put this? I think I wasted about 2 weeks unnecessarily. I'm sorry, obviously, but I will skip to the end and then backfill the what happened and why.
Okay.
All right, and why I'm breaking the interagent communication protocol. So this is Tmux, right? Like fun games, we love it. or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit dorky when you go to browse and when you go to scroll, and the user experience is garbage for seasoned users. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even want to show, like, my grandma. She's never using this. I mean,
No, no, no.
she's
But
also she's dead, thankfully, but she's also
it's a bit
never using this.
like it's a bit like sticking a V12 onto a trike, right? It's not for everyone.
It's a
But
bit, yeah, yeah. But there's a couple of wins in it.
mm,
So the mistake that I made was an there's a there's an automated way to do codex commands. Okay, so if you go codex exec, sing me a song. That is the shit. This is the recommended way to use automation with the codex CLI. Now,
mm-hmm.
I had to skip that because when I started building this, exec didn't let you resume sessions. It didn't let you carry on a conversation. Like it had a lot of shortcomings. That meant that I had to jerry rig this way of emulating a human by doing agent to agent communication by dropping the text directly into the terminal and then waiting for the response, which was another form of nightmare. Figuring out when the turn had ended, lobbing that back across the fence, and being like, "There you go, done." The danger is that the deeper you integrate with any given tool, like if I started using its APIs or other internal things, the more you become dependent on it. Along the way, so you sacrifice the generality, but along the way, two things cropped up. The first is that after experiencing your usage and mine, now that the platform is up, it became, well, it gave me the impression that it's sort of rare that you would want to trigger agent to agent communication and then go and jump into the remote agent as a session and then carry on and do some stuff. The pattern seems to be you stay in one agent and you bark out commands to other agents from this one place.
I'll give these are just observations. I'm not certain about it, but yes, that
It seems
pattern
right,
seems
yeah,
to be
yeah. And
with
so,
cognitive load. You just want to talk to one
yeah, I
thing,
know, yeah,
and then you
and
say,
so
get agent this to do that.
yeah, so that was an error in the model I had in my head, was that I was preserving the capability that we might want to go into another agent at some point and jump in and either correct it, debug it, ask it what's going on and all that. And the only way I could think of to do that was to have this, the agent was presenting as a user interface, and then you could go in there anytime, like what you're doing here. But
Yeah, and this is mostly for my own benefit and for the tape. So I have this. The reason is the cognitive load of understanding the entire process. You can understand the process and what each part has got to do, but as soon as you jump in, then
I
you're
don't.
getting into threads and so on. So that's for my benefit.
Can you not do that? Because I can't. I don't have. You can make recordings or notes or whatever. Like I kind of got
Oh yeah. Okay.
precious
Sorry.
time. Like you're using me like a voice recorder. That's rude.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I apologize.
So turns out that exec function has an option to, first of all, I can resume, but second of all, I can also do JSON if I want. So you can actually get all of the background reasoning out. So this wasn't there when I started, right? This is a new thing. It's maybe a few weeks old, something like that. So also this Tmax thing was a nightmare. So there was this other feature that you liked, which I liked too, which was that we could both view the screen and both
Yeah.
see exactly what's being typed and what isn't. Now,
Yeah.
that's fun and all that, but the way that we go about it right now is by terminal sharing, but really that doesn't scale that well. It's a bit of a glitch or a quirk, and I don't see us doing that with the same kind of delight as what happened with HAL 2. With HAL 2, because it was all so new, it seemed like that was cool. But now
Mm-hmm.
we both want to sit there and like process each other's chat histories with tooling as opposed to sitting there watching it go and say something in, say something back, Like the power of the Codex agent is not like it has less appeal to have a shared session because you're not really first of all, how the Codex agent works is different, right? It's smarter than us now, and so that makes it not the same utility to have two humans talking to it. But second of all, now that we have teams of agents, you're not really talking to that one agent. You're talking to, um, a workflow effectively.
I suppose you're right. And there's the obvious workaround where you could actually share a screen like you're doing now.
Right, but what I don't want to, I'm not bagging on this feature. I like this feature. I'm um, trying to explain where we're at now. Just give me half a second. So the goal, I believe, is still to have the ability to present the entire platform as a single persona, like a contact in a WhatsApp chat or an email recipient or something, right? And so having a group chat with them is going to be a thing, but it's going to be a thing within the confines of a pre-existing group chat environment, like um, WhatsApp, Messenger, whatever. As opposed to this weird sort of special case where it was like two humans not having a group chat, but acting as one human, effectively having a shared session, right? And there's other ways to achieve that. Like I can make shared sessions the way that we used to have the Miro boards that were used, and you could have fun with the shared sessions where you can see the other person's mouse and all that. Like I can make that, and that's a better way than this weird workaround. Anyway, skipping ahead, what I think has happened is that the interagent communication, I chased some wrong goals now that I see it in action, and it's got like I think we've put about around about 26 million tokens through it. So it's had some good initial use, but the my understanding of what it needs to do has changed, and the features underneath it have changed as well. So I'm going to skip ahead to the end, and then I'll come and try and fill in the holes in the end, in the back. What I realized I need to do, I need to change the agent-to-agent communication protocol to use this exec automation function, and to make it headless, which means that you don't get to drop in like this. However, if you want to, you can do something like, so if I hold down shift, I can use the browser select. I can still get in there technically because I can go codex. If I go codex resume, it's not present, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if I go codex resume and then I use the ID that it gave me,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, sorry, wrong button. when I hold down Shift, I get access to the browser clipboard, and it lets me paste things in there. Here's
Mm.
here's it. Um, because I typed in the exact ID,
Mm.
it resumed the session. So now I got back the session. So by making it headless, I can allow you to come in there and resume the session later if you want, but it's a little bit of a dance, which I think is justified because the times that you need that are not all the time.
Yeah, it's like bumping the hood up to have a look at the
Yeah,
engine.
you pop the hood,
It's,
it's going to have a little bit of rough edges, but what that means is that agents underneath are actually running headless. Like they don't have a UI per se, because the UI and the agent to agent communication is now separated. They don't need to be the same. They used to need to be the same,
okay.
right? But it's still a virtual machine, so it still runs a lot of stuff. So you know how I like always joke that programmers sort of never do what you want and then also come up with things that you didn't ask for.
Mm.
So this is that happening to you right now, but I think that uh, you know my goal is to give you and others things that you actually needed rather than the things you just asked me for. At the same time, I'm also trying to juggle multiple requirements to try and like hit as many of them in one shot at a time, whilst making sure that the future path is still efficient as well. So just hold on a second,
Holding, holding.
and I'll show you what you lost was this coming into Tmux. You still sort of have it temporarily, but I'm about to rip it out. What you gained that you didn't ask for is that I think that agent to agent communication needs the concept of threads, because it turns out after watching you use it quite furiously, I can see that there are times when one agent needs to be having a conversation from multiple other agents coming into it. And so the current model was one agent, one thread, but that breaks down and you get interleaving of the threads if under heavy interagent communication, um, two agents want to talk to the same agent about something, then their messages will interleave. So,
Oh,
right?
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Neither did I, right?
yeah.
But then, right, neither did I. But so what we do now is I'll extend the interactions function signature to include a thread ID. And so now you got to go. You start a new interaction, which defaults to a new thread. But then you can start another one and get a different thread ID, and then you just keep going on like that. And so a new thread is the equivalent of hitting /new within the CLI.
Okay. I'm going to digest the implications of that. If you want to help, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
On the face of it, um, the headless, other than the landing agent, I've never felt the need to do anything other than ask the landing agent to ask this agent
Yeah, I know.
for a thing.
Yeah, I know. So that's why it's sort of
So
like that only became apparent once I watched you use it. I was like, oh, that's that pattern that I designed for and sweated for. Turns out no one needs it.
yeah,
You know,
and
welcome to software,
if
right?
I was
So
to jump in, I wouldn't. Basically, I'm agreeing with you that I would. Uh, sure, there's popping
you'd kind of
the
be
bonnet,
okay with putting it up on
but
chocks or getting it on the lift and
right,
getting under it,
but
right?
it's a
Because
rare thing.
yeah,
It's a rare
you're
thing,
in there to
right?
diagnose. You're not in there as like part of the daily grind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everything. The landing agent has been exceptionally helpful about asking questions about agents. It's like, right, can you ask this agent what it does? And it's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's been very reliable.
Okay. All
Um,
right. So that's the first thing is there's a bit of a change in model there. Agents have to be capable of being multi-threaded. Now, that does sort of narrow.
so can I just make sure I'm on the same page on the multi-threading thing?
Yep.
So by multi-threaded, is each prompt create a new thread, or is it each instantiation of the agent, which is the new thread?
I don't understand his question. Sorry. I'll try and explain it differently, and you can ask the question again using some different words, maybe. So
Mm-hmm.
you got an agent. Every time you talk to the agent, if you supply an existing thread ID that's continuing an existing conversation that you've been having with that agent, if you don't supply a thread ID, you'll be given a new thread ID, and that's like starting a new conversation with that same agent.
Okay, so it's picking up where it left off if you're supplying a
If you
previous
tell
thread
it.
ID.
Yeah, if you tell it. Yeah.
Right.
How it
Okay.
used to be was that it picked off where it left off regardless.
Right. Understood.
Okay. Now, what
Okay,
that
that's fine.
means is
Okay.
that there's a couple of subtle consequences there. Number one is I have to set a concurrency limit because we cannot have 1,000 concurrent conversations going on to a single agent. As much as we've tried to push out the your experience of the limits of the edges of the tin, that is still a limit that we cannot get away from. Now it's a soft limit, like the agent will eventually process all the requested conversations. It just can't do it in a timely manner, so it needs to serialize them and sequentialize them, which is a different experience to like a box running out of capacity. Getting into a queue is still a graceful degradation, but I'm just saying that now this resource limitation becomes a possible or apparent in some edge case scenarios.
So if I asked for a loop that the first step was create agent A based on this sysprompt, create 10 of them, and then throw the payload to each, then it's not going to be parallel, it's going to be serial.
For 10, it'll be parallel.
But there will be a limit.
There'll be
A
some limit.
thousand is
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey guy, come on, back off.
yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
too much.
There's some
Yeah,
limit,
okay.
but
That seems that seems
it's
reasonable.
not going to tell you to back off. It's not going to fault you. It's just going to mean that it will only do 100 concurrently, and then each extra one has to wait for something else to finish before it goes through. That's all.
But um, how's that traffic management done? Because there's various good ways and bad ways, I'm sure. You know, it's like, okay, let's do as many parallel as possible, and then the rest is serial. And then if one finishes first, it's like, well, can you do that in
Yeah,
parallel? Take one from
that's
here,
the
that
only
sort of thing.
way to do it.
Yeah, that sounds quite complex system.
It's not. That's an easy thing to
No,
do. No,
okay,
that's a
all right.
trivial thing to do because that kind of queue has been abstracted, and you just pull in a library and you're like, I have a parallel. I'm using this parallel processing queue, and I want to set the maximum concurrency value at 15. Go. That's it. That's all there
Huh,
is to it.
okay,
I already
okay,
have a
cool.
concurrency queue in there that makes sure that you can't, whenever you send in multiple interactions, the agent will buffer them and do them in serial anyway. So all I got to do is sort of open that up to have the notion of concurrency at the tip of the queue, and then that's
Mm-hmm.
sort of done. So it's easy to implement. It's just I'm just making you aware that that's a constraint now. I highly
That
doubt you'll ever hit it.
that seems a reasonable thing for the user to understand, because if it's asking sort of a lot, and people are used to,
It's not
their
really a mistake that
desktop
you
getting
can
rammed.
make. but it's not really a mistake you make. You've designed badly, I think, if you end up in that position, because
Yeah,
the
but
point.
you know that sorry, you know that situation where the fan turns on your PC and it's like, oh shit, it's working hard.
Mm,
Uh, the thing I was thinking about from the user's point of view is it's obvious why, and it's then you go back and go, can I do this better, or shall I just wait and get a coffee?
yeah, I doubt you'll hit it, but let's see. Um,
Okay. No, no.
Now something else happened because of that too. Um, yeah, so in I was actually trying to do the things that I said I would do, which is workflows, but um, that agent may not be processing those requests directly itself. So it might be that they actually are the start of a workflow that involves multiple agents um, going around the place too. So that sort of it doesn't get away from the problem, but it does sort of make it less of a problem because now the concurrency is like thousands. So long as
Hmm.
it's not like so long if it was just the entry point of a workflow and its job was just simply to dispatch jobs, then you can have thousands running concurrently and it won't even break a sweat. So as workflows come into play more, they affect us differently. Like they have these interesting effects on resource allocation. Put it that way.
Okay. So on workflows, unless there's anything else.
There's lots more.
Okay. You
Your
go for it.
this Okay. That's the end of the bad news.
Okay.
Okay, so the good news is that you asked me for several features. You were like, I need to drag and drop files. I need to be great if I could see my files. You're like, what's going on with my Git thing? You had a bunch of questions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to
It's
give you
convenience, but yeah.
in
Oh, please tell
exchange,
me you got it.
this is your new terminal.
Okay.
You may notice this as being familiar,
Yes, it is. And
right? So I
okay.
can come in here and go codecs, but this is
Okay.
all in the browser, right? So same agent,
Right. Yeah.
that's on port 10,000. This one is just
Yeah.
simply on port 3,000, but it's running a full-blown version of VS Code, which means
Okay.
that you can manage the Git repo. Um,
Okay.
so I can go into mount computers, test computer, repos, how, hotkey.
And you can get access to the workspace of any particular agent that
Uh, the,
you control.
the fucker, it shut down. I'm sorry. Um, it's got some bugs. I'll fix them. But
I know it. It's bugs. Just a lore.
yeah, well, I just got it up, but um, so yeah, things were going great. Let me just start a new agent actually. Shit, a lot. Here we go. Do you trust the authors? Of course. So there you have like all your things. You can actually you can paste things in. You can download them. You can upload them. You
Oh,
can
that's
view
awesome.
you can view mermaid diagrams. So you can even get extensions
Oh,
here where I go mermaid mermaid chart. No, we don't want that. Mermaid editor. No, mermaid preview. Yes,
okay.
please. Hit me. Hit me. Yep, all good. I'll take it.
Okay, that is sweet.
Mermaid preview, and then we got yeah, full blown mermaid diagrams in the thing.
So I missed it because you're clicking around fast. How do I get into this view as opposed to if I was just to create a new agent through the usual way? I'll be into Codex. How do I get into this view? Is there some command
Well, yeah, you just all you got to do for what I'm trying to make it do, right, is replace
yeah,
this view. But I felt
yeah,
like I should sort of at least tell you what was happening first, right? So
yeah, yeah.
it's not quite working yet. It needs a bit of it's buggy. I don't know how you want to deal with it. So right now, all you got to do is you just go to the existing agent and then you go to port. Oh dear. Port
Oh, one second.
3000.
Stand by. I got a call coming. Oh, that was good. I can ignore that one.
So you just go to port 3000
Mm-hmm.
and then that's it.
All right. So same URL.
Yeah.
Port 3000.
But this is just the agent's view now. And so you can it's going to be super buggy. I'm sorry, but listen, it's better than Tmux, right? Cuz you
Yeah.
get the full-blown terminal here. The terminal has like, copy and paste and stuff, and you can do um yeah, like you can say all sorts of things, and you can scroll the terminal. You can do copy and paste works, right? Like it's just
Right. So
everything
all I
works.
need to do is port 3000, but then in order to get to the previous bare bones codex, I need to go to terminal codex, and then that will give me this sort of thing in that pane,
Yeah,
but the other things are available.
yeah. So I
If
guess
you,
my question is, what do you want? Do you still want the old Tmax thing hanging around on a different port, or are you okay to just roll with the VS Code thing and you just access it? Because you can have like multiple terminals. Like you can be running multiple anythings all in one spot. I mean, it's basically VS Code for you.
well, what I'm trying to do is to avoid going into the actual command line and just uh, talking to the landing agent.
Right.
But then um, the thing on the left, the file browser,
Mm.
is really useful.
Yeah, right.
If, for example, if I that last thing I did last night, set up 5 agents, and they had their own working space, and the workings out through
Mm.
the loop. Um, what I would try and do is talk
Images.
to the landing agent. Hey, this is going to be very cool because one things I've been yearning for is rendering of mermaid charts.
Right.
It's like, look, I've just made a workflow. Can you show me it so I can just check it?
Right.
And I've been doing ASCII art, but that's because the workflows I've been doing are very simplistic.
And
Um,
get diffs.
okay, this is cool. So can I? So I'm still only talking to the landing agent, right?
Yeah, this is just the landing agent.
So I can talk to the landing agent, and if I were to say, for example, show me the working repo of agent B in this process, would that appear on the left here?
Ah, that's greedy. It could give you, if we prompt it right, it could give you a file link, and when you clicked on the link, it would open up over here, maybe, but that's brittle and fiddly. The integration between what you see in the file browser and what Codex sees is weak. Okay, I know what you want. You want it strong, but that sort of becomes Curse's realm.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And it's also, again, I could ask a landing agent to look at the repo of agent B
Hmm.
and give me the folder and file structure, which it already does.
You
I
could,
usually just want to read it.
yeah, you could get a link to open up Agent B, and then it would open up another instance of VS Code in a new tab, but it would be opened on the workspace of Agent B.
Right, but that is popping the bonnet, isn't it?
No, not at all. It's the same thing. Like that's what's sort of what I'm trying to get across here is every single agent has its own distinct version of VS Code that's completely isolated.
Okay, all right.
So if you want to go see what agent B has on its files, just open a new tab and it will take you to the VS Code instance that runs on agent B.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, sorry, mate. I've got a safeguard call
Mm,
from Jude there. I need to go and find out why. It's
okay.
very rare she does that.
Okay.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
All right, cool.
But so far, I'm liking this.
All right, I'll see you soon.
All right, see you, man. Okay, back.
All good?
Yeah, it was one of those urgent, important, and not time-consuming calls.
Oh, wow. Like a cockroach.
Yeah. Like a cockroach.
Well, if there's a cockroach, that's easily dispatched, but it can be
Yeah,
a level 10 panic.
yeah, sort of thing. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. And now, he asked a question about whether I want the old to hang around. I'm happy to go with the new and
Okay.
use the port and that sort of thing because, as far as I say, I'm not losing anything, and anything that is added, I'll just roll with in terms of it's going to be buggy. It's fine.
All right, so then what about the feature of sharing things, right? Because this TMAX session's good in that multiple people can look at it, you and me. But
Yep.
that's not true here. Does it matter as much?
So, it would be nice to have a shared space. And I've actually been
A
using it,
shared
and I've
space
been
or a
sad.
shared visual? Like we can have a shared files, but did you mean shared like I can see your
Shared
mouse?
search session. The
I can see you type is what you want?
No, if you give me a sec, I have been using. So interesting enough, I've had the same agent up on Atlas and on Chrome,
Right.
uh, just to see. I've been flicking between the two to see if there's any difference, and then occasionally asking Atlas about what's happening inside of the agent,
Mm.
which is actually, you know, quite interesting. You know, maybe it's not a 10x, it's like a 2x,
Mm.
you know, improvement.
Mm.
You know, you get a meta view without actually having to go into it. If I were to lose that, it wouldn't be a great loss. It would just be a bit, you know, slightly sad, but that'll be it.
Okay.
Um, Now, to go back to what you were saying with your WhatsApp analogy, I think this uh, this model actually makes more sense if you have a shared working repo. Um, you kind of don't want someone messing with your thread.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, right? You're happy to fork it, and you're happy to let them take it from here, and you're happy to have a conversation where you know it's a group conversation, but you
Yeah,
kind of don't want them acting as you.
yeah, exactly. And if you take that WhatsApp analogy, if you and I and your bot, your landing agent, and my landing agent are on a group chat, what I'd want to do is to text you, and you know you haven't picked up. Maybe your agent is like checking out, or maybe I text your agent,
Mm.
so I don't bother you,
Mm.
and then I get a text back. So it seems that that's a quite a nice way of doing it. It's a more polite way of doing it for sure, because you don't.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been worried about over the last couple of weeks is shitting all over your stuff
Don't
when
do
you're
that.
using
Don't
it.
worry. You should never spend any time worrying about that. Whatever I give you to use, I am unattached to or insulated from. Like I make
Yeah,
sure that you can't break anything that I value in those
yeah,
things.
no, that's not the point. I'm thinking that feeling about uh, I'm actually now in someone else's, you know,
Space.
thought palace. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm moving stuff around.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
So, as a general rule, I know you take safeguards against that. That's absolutely fine. But if we're to ever to allow others into this, I wouldn't want people shitting all over my thread. But I
Yeah,
would
but that
want
was
them to be.
always going to be gated behind permissions. But the question was, would you want it? Would you want to be able to give someone permission to do that? Was kind of more the question.
No, I'd want them to fork uh, the. If I give them permission, I want them to be able to see the thread and then pick up in a
Yeah,
fork.
right. You kind of want you're like, here's where I'm at. You go do your own thing. You can read the
Yeah, and
files as I make them, and you can pull them across as you need, but stay out of my. Uh,
right,
yeah,
because it's a bit like someone messing around with your laptop folder structure. You know
yeah.
why?
Okay, now I got two things for you then.
Uh-huh.
First one, um, remember how I explained that diagram of the hardware service that runs in the browser window?
Yeah,
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 and
the three
it hooks
boxes,
up.
the one to
Yeah,
the left. Yeah.
yeah. So that still applies here
Hmm.
because this is just another view. And so what it's possible to do with that is to give you two features. The first feature is I can make it so that um, you could share with someone what you were seeing in your browser, and they could have a mouse cursor that moves around, and I can animate it because I can draw over the top of this. If this is in an iframe, I can draw your cursor over the top of it. So I'd have my mouse, you'd have your mouse, and you could be going around clicking and typing if you wanted. Like we can have a real time shared session where I'm letting you and I both drive this thing if we wanted it.
Okay, that's kind of
Yeah.
neat. It's kind of G drivey, you know, style.
Yeah. So that's
Um,
possible and reasonably straightforward actually given that architecture. It's because I
mhm.
can do this stuff because I can put this whole thing in an iframe is what makes that possible. Then
Uh-huh.
the second thing which I think you'll like,
Uh-huh.
because it's in an iframe and I was using that to gain access to the browser mic, the browser clipboard, the browser camera, all the browser goodies, the browser hardware, and then
Mhm.
plugging it in like a USB cable into the agent Linux box.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, what I can also do is pipe back screenshots of what it is, feed it into a computer user model, like which
Mm-hmm.
is exactly what Atlas is doing. It's just OpenAI hasn't
Mm-hmm.
released that model to the API yet, but they will soon, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then that model can first of all see what screen you're seeing and then can initiate actions just like Atlas does, where it can like move the mouse, type some text, copy some text, scroll the page. Like all those activities can be done driving your session here because it's all captured within that iframe.
Okay, that's kind of cool. And that would be, say, you and I concurrently work on an agent.
That's
Um,
two separate features there, enabled by the same mechanism.
hmm.
It would be
Oh,
you and I as humans concurrently, or an arbitrary number of us,
yep.
and separately a bot drive viewing it and driving it, or even just getting a read-only view of it. So when you talk to it about, you're like the blue tick with the commit message, or the thing I circled, or something like that, the bot can know visually what you mean.
That sounds very powerful.
It will be
And
super useful for self-testing of user interfaces. Not that I think that user interfaces are needed in the future, but um, who knows how long
yeah,
you
but
guys are going to stick around for.
yeah, probably longer than we ever need them.
Yeah.
Um,
So those are
uh,
two extra benefits unrelated to any of this, but that can sort of give you back some of the features that we'd spoken about in a more robust form, plus a bonus where you can get a bot to do the driving.
yeah, that's good. Is so one of the things that How To got really popular. The reason it got really popular was I could send a URL to someone else and saying, "Hey, pick up from here." Now we just talked that I don't want them messing with that thread and that. But what happens at that point? If I send them something, I've done some work. I'm going to sleep. You work on this now.
You can that would come down to
What's your
sharing permissions. You can either lob it over with write access as an editor, or you can lob it over as read only, and they need to fork.
oh, okay? No, that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the underlying issue though is a confusion that I have about who we're building this platform for now. Because keeping it private until we get the inverse genie to tell us what we should do, um, who is the platform for? It feels like it's just us.
I've been spent a lot of time yesterday thinking about exactly that, and I am my initial flop is it's private,
It's just
with
us,
one
right?
caveat. With one caveat is like there may be one or two individuals that we want to spread, the usage and
Mm,
learn more about usage, um, but not public
mm,
is my feel.
mm. I mean, it's rough as guts, and it's just, I mean, you present someone with the
Yeah.
VS Code interface, and they're like, "What the actual fuck am I looking at?" So,
Well, yeah. If you presented this without, some explanation, probably some hand holding, and then you're going, "What the? What? Just what?"
what in the sweet Jesus?
You couldn't allow someone passive turning up at this and reasonably being able to think it's other than something just way above their head and
Yeah. All right.
whatever.
So now I got two extra bonuses for you.
Oh, okay. Because this
Um,
was quite a bonus, so we're getting quite a few bonuses here.
yeah, you lose some, you win some, right?
Yeah.
s- so bonus number one. In that model, we talked about having a very tiny little AI that sits on top of things, interpreting requests and managing the agent and marshalling messages back and forth.
Yeah.
So it turns out that that model is very, very easy to make a traditional type of a chat interface, just like how we had on the old Dreamcatcher.ai. You know, like where it's like got the assistant message, the human message, the
Mm-hmm.
thinking message, all that. So I can take this terminal feed and use an AI to quickly process what's happening in that terminal feed and then just like stamp it into a very consumable user based web page that everyone's used to, because it would just be making MCP tool calls. And that would not be a lot of coding on my part, because all of this power is just being interpreted as text. And it's like, oh, that's an agent turn. That's agent reasoning. Oh, that's the agent output. Oh, that's the user input. And the AI is just making tool calls to stuff it into a traditional format that just gets presented to an everyday person, which hides all of this.
And what would that screen look like then?
It could look like
I mean, I'm not asking for Gucci GUI.
just look
This is
exactly
just
like that.
genuinely.
Right? It's just here's your chats, and you can
Uh-huh.
have like, you know, chats and things down the side, messages going back and forth. It's just you make it look like anything you want, I guess is the answer, without trying to sound facetious. But I can make it look like a nice, tidy little web app that turns out you can pop the hood and you're like, holy smoke, where am I now? I'm in this like whole other world. I better put the hood back down. Or you can just sit there and you're like, yep, I'll just chat away. And this little tiny AI is just marshalling the back and forth from this wild ass fucking terminal based world, and
Something that's more,
palatable.
consumable.
Yeah. But
Okay.
what I'm
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at there is that there's something deeper about this design. It's to say that this design of having heavy reasoning going on, that's all just pure text. It's basically just all scaffolding, right? Like it's all like there's nothing there but just terminal shells, Linux boxes, raw binary streams floating around, all that. But it's very unpalatable. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's raw. Like
You wouldn't buy a ticket to this vessel, right?
nah. And you're like, I'd like to sit down, and you're like, what on this thing? And you're like, where are we sleeping? Not here, sunshine.
Gonna
Like,
make a brew.
yeah,
No.
it's like, what happens if it stops flying? Don't stop flying. Like, it's got a lot of extreme types of properties.
So question is, in light of, I think we're synced with the idea that it's going to be private with maybe plus one, two very carefully selected people to give us some feedback, but not public. Do we need a nice shiny hull yet? Where in the priorities?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a great question. Where in the priorities? Probably nowhere. Probably down. Probably. There's a group of priorities that are to do with external connection, right? Like when should we make the WhatsApp capable contact so that you can just message this system as though
Right.
it was a WhatsApp bot, and it sort of goes in that realm. But I just wanted to make sure that you picked up the importance that I see in this model being so raw but so powerful that it's almost like the inner thoughts of AI happen here, and then everything else we do is just like presentation facade.
Right. It's a shim, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
but
it's the
that
beauty
cuts
layer,
two
pure
ways
plastic.
because we're
Yeah.
saying two things with that, or implying two things with that. Number one is that because we've stripped all the scaffolding, we've stripped all the bodywork, the paint, the glamour, the everything out, and it's just raw knowledge that ends up in Git repos, and we almost don't care about the AI, which model, which harness. It's like the quality of the intelligence is the only thing that matters. That's
Hmm.
basically that's what AI is at the end of all the fluff and all the hype and all the wonder. It's just raw intelligence output. And then
Yes.
what that means also, if we've stripped everything away except for what matters, then on the flip side, we can also make it be anything else because we got rid of the body work, because that boat has no body work, it can therefore have any body work that you chose to put on it later. But a boat that already had body work, you couldn't easily put body work on it without fucking it up somehow. So
Right.
that's the different flip side of the benefit is like we can actually masquerade as whatever we want. We can masquerade as a Tamagotchi, a Hello Kitty, a WhatsApp contact, an email address, a web page, a web app. We can masquerade anywhere. That's really what I wanted to try and.
No, I totally get that, and that's one of the fundamental things that make me very excited about this. In that we've stripped it back to an actual four wheels and an engine and a
Yeah,
steering wheel,
yeah, and so
and
you're right, and so
yeah,
it sort of stays there always. Like it survives because there's nothing left to take away, and then that basically is our brain framework that
yeah,
sits underneath everything we do, and then we choose to surface it somehow in whichever way suits, which may be a web app, it may be voice, it may be whatever we want. But this seems to be the fucking
engine room.
yeah, the engine room, right? And I actually quite like having this VS Code interface on top of every agent because at an instant I can jump in there and I've got a full blown VS Code instance that I can debug the shit out of any way I like. Um, Familiar
Yeah,
tools, plugins, like extensions are for me, like they're for the human to help me like see a mermaid diagram. A bot doesn't have any concept of that, but I need it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're preaching to the choir on this one.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oops. Well,
no,
yeah,
no,
I
no,
don't
no. It's a
know.
good thing to
I just don't. Yeah,
reinforce that.
it's not. It is important. I'm not sure that I'm expressing it right or that I even understand the implications of it right. But there's something powerful about the stripped, the bareness.
Yes, because in any way that you want to consume it, say if I were a blind guy, blind or deaf, and wanted to interact with this with Braille
Right.
terminal, doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Go
matter.
for it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's an extreme example, but even on a web-based GUI, it would allow the user to say to the bot, "I would like a button that does this," and they, okay, now we've got a new GUI button
Mm.
that just did that. So um, the it's not that the presentation layer doesn't have value; it certainly does, but it has value for those who haven't invested so much time in understanding how the engine works.
Yeah. 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 It's like, yeah. Okay. And the other benefit is we might want to make little interfaces like that because we might want to um, process speech better. Like, for example, you're using Whisper, but it might be
Mm.
better to have a little web app that you talk to and it populates it using that Flux model, and then it uses our agents to try and fill in the gaps and guess at what you said, and then it does a little bit of pre-processing and back and forth with you to make sure that the prompt you gave was absolutely spot on, and then you send it into the app. So that's an example
Yeah,
where
absolutely,
like you
absolutely.
can't do that in the CLI because you need the back and forth interaction with the voice thing. It doesn't go so well in the CLI, or we would have to make our own CLI app to enable that type of interaction, and so we might as well just use a web app for that type of thing.
Yeah, and Whisper is clunky as hell, but it's I use it because it's press to talk,
Mm,
and then I don't have to type.
mm,
But it's useless in conversations. Flux is much better in
much
conversations,
better,
and
eh?
so on.
Yeah.
But does the we don't need to think about this right now, but a question for later would be: is the GUI itself wrapped in some kind of agent that you can talk to and say, "Hey, I don't like this color of pink. Make it more pastel blue."
Yeah, that's what I was meaning about taking the screenshot and being able to send it back. And so
Yeah,
you could have an agent that was prompted and trained up on VS Code so that it could take a screenshot and know, oh yeah, that's what this color is. Oh, how do I change that? Oh, look, here we go. Goes into the settings, does it for you. Click, 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 bang.
yeah, because that would be good because neither one of us wants to get involved in GUI preferences
No.
because that involves a world of pain
Mm.
and is not actually. I was about to say not important. It is important, but it's not vital.
No,
You
there's
know.
more important shit to do, right? Like
Yeah,
getting to
yeah,
actual intelligence. Like it doesn't matter if AGI arrives, but it can only do fucking terminal text or it can only see in monochrome. Like that's
yeah,
perfectly fine. Like let's just get on with the intelligence bit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Okay, I'm on board with that one.
all right,
Absolutely. I
cool.
yeah, I think you're right. It is down in the hopper in terms of priorities.
Yeah, it struck me that it's actually surprisingly easy. Um,
That's good. So when we ever get to the point of not working on the engine, we can work out what it looks like.
yeah. So, do you want SSH access to the agents? Because that's something that seems pretty straightforward to give as well.
Um, it's not something I've
Well,
yearned for.
you haven't wanted it because you've been getting it by default in the Tmux thing. But if I took this away, then
Yeah.
you might want to SSH in, and you might not want to fire up a browser to get to the thing. So with an SSH connection into any given agent, you could just put this address into your SSH client, and now you're shelled into the agent, and you can do whatever you
And
want.
it would look like this,
Well,
presumably.
it'll look like whatever, yes, but it would look like whatever your SSH agent looks like,
Right.
which means that you can do all sorts of things like secure FTP, secure file copy. You can
But
take your
if I in the OpenVS Codes server version, the 3000 port
yeah,
version,
yeah.
I can upload files anyway, right?
Correct, correct. But for some reason, you might also want, like, I could take my desktop VS Code and I could plug it into, I could connect it up to the remote agent via SSH. So I could have
Mm-hmm.
my desktop version running, and then all I'm checking is, do you even want SSH? It sounds like you don't. Sounds like I'm having to sell it. Like you don't really need it.
I'm not fussed with it.
Okay,
Until suddenly, hit a wall and it's like,
okay, cool.
you
All
know,
right, so I'll skip
SSH.
that.
But not yet, not yet.
I'll roll out this VS Code interface.
Yeah.
Um, the only other thing, it's becoming apparent that workflows is kind of everything because, like, if you were asking about, hey, I wanna see what the prompts are that the vendor supplied for the Codex CLI, right?
Yeah.
Totally reasonable
Yeah.
question. What I've been doing is I cloned the Codex database source code, and then
Uh-huh.
I used Codex to walk it to find the prompts so that I could then see. But
Uh-huh.
you don't want to have to do that every time. And so a service would be where we said, okay, there's this service is called the codex expert. And what that service does is every time you ask it a question, if it's seen that question before in its stored knowledge base, it'll just use that. But if it's different, then it will expend the codex effort to walk the code base to verify or find the answer and then store it in the knowledge base for next time. As well, when new commits come in for that code base, because it's so active, it will continually reassess all of the things it holds true in its knowledge base to make sure that it is always presenting the most up-to-date information. And then when your bot is like, what system prompts is Codex running? It would somehow know, using a service discovery mechanism, that I should talk to the Codex specialist, and then it just converses in plain text using agent-to-agent comms, where in the background, this Codex expert is either retrieving from previous work or doing deep dives into the code and giving authoritative answers back.
Yes, and again, I'm acutely aware of priority listing this. That's kind of a medium priority. That will be very helpful, but it'll be helpful when you're kind of trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah, but I think that the concept of service is what is very useful. Like a service seems to be quite important.
That is, yeah.
Workflows is number one, but a service is shortly thereafter and kind of related. Is how I see these things.
Well, a workflow you could package up as a service is just one that's the moment in thread can create a workflow. You're working to put that into the tooling, but a workflow, once it's created, is a black box service.
Yeah. Well, it's a package service.
They're kind of brothers, aren't they? They're very, very close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd put that as a medium priority, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
The workflow, and then probably the service. I think you're right, because you want to package up something. Let me think about that. Yeah, that's right.
All right, and I've also got, I put auto committing in there so that when you finish talking, it automatically commits. That's
what does it commit? Does it commit the last interaction, including chain of thought?
Nah, that's saved, so that's available there. But commit means the workspace repos. So whatever,
right.
If it's dirty, it's going to get committed. I don't know if that's the right move, but look, I just feel like we're converging very quickly here because, we're able to do a lot of stuff. And it's been very enlightening to see how you use it and the things you didn't use. And now I'm like, oh yeah, whoops, Tmux was a dud, but VS Code and this headless agent mode, I think, can get us a long way.
Yeah, I think we're in the kind of the happy valley in terms of target-rich environments right now, aren't we? Because I was surprised yesterday when we were talking about workflow and saying, okay, you're going to go do workflow, and it's the as is. There is a workflow, albeit in the thread, and it's like that's pretty cool, and it was doing it right.
Oh yeah, the other thing I can do for you is so this thing has these MCP tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's everything that, well, no, it doesn't. This one. These are all the tools that you need for interacting with the platform, and you
Yeah.
might need some more later, whatever. But what I can also do is allow you to access that externally. So, for example, you could be in Cursor and you could hook up to those MCP tools, and then you could do your agent to agent communication. Like, you could run a codec session in your local CLI on your local laptop, but it would be able to make agent to agent calls out to our platform.
It's interesting. That's another pop the bonnet kind of situation, isn't it?
Right, which I
Because,
don't know if that's better or worse for you, right? Like,
well, I mean, it's worth checking in now. My approach is trying to only use the uh, presented landing agent to do as much as possible and see where it breaks.
I don't think
And
that's a
so,
bad approach, actually. Like, that's kind of.
yeah, because what I don't want to do is pop the bonnet.
Mm,
I want to take the car for a drive, want to see how fast it goes, how well it corners.
mm,
I don't want to, pull, over to one side and have to exchange these sparks or anything.
fair enough.
Um, that's not to say that's not a useful thing. It will be a useful thing, but that's how I'm testing it at the
Right,
moment.
right.
Again, I'm really kind of honing down on what's next. Mainly driven, from these conversations. It's like,
Mm,
what's next?
mm.
And that's not next, I think. Um,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because it's like it kind of feels kind of weak. It's like, well, why would I want to do that if I was in my local machine? Why would I now want this dependency on my local machine when I could have VS Code in the browser that's there so that I can move machines or whatever?
yeah,
And it's right there. I got everything. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And if there's something I try to do, the place to make it happen is here, and not necessarily, I don't need a computer to plug into the engine management system in order to see what that light is on. It's just, okay, there's a
Mm,
light on.
mm.
What I'd like to do is talk to the car saying, why is that light on? Well,
Right.
that would be ideal. Although put a lot of people at work.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's it from me, buddy. I just got workflows to build, and I get this VS Code thing up, and then I'll get
Yeah.
those hot or warm standby hosts so that it can just be instant when you come into it.
Yeah.
And
Um,
then what?
well, we'll find out what's next. Next.
Okay, do you wanna
the
just have a check of the platform, because I might have busted it, but I think it's okay.
uh, well, it's running on yours, so it should run on mine, right?
Yeah, but it's got some quirkiness. So if you get stuck, go to port 10,000 to get back Tmux.
Okay.
But
All
if
right.
you
Is it
if
gonna
you
is it gonna default to 3000?
it's supposed to, but it seems buggy. I think it's to do with the proxying. It's not
Right.
quite proxying through to OpenVS Code like OpenVS Code expects. So it's probably messing with some headers or something on the way through. I don't know. I got to look into that.
Okay. All right. Well, if we've got
So you
the
get
rollback to Tmux, that's
plus
perfectly
it
fine.
comes in too early. So this is the this is the problem. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
All right. Well, how about this as a plan? Just for the next 24 hours, I'll continue using Tmux because
Oh, it did work. It did work. I know what I did. I didn't wait for the port to be ready. I was just like, "Yep, we're good," and then I was just too eager. So okay. So
so what
so
happened there?
it's,
What was that
uh
mistake you made?
the
Or what do you
error.
mean by too eager?
So this server takes a couple of seconds to boot.
Yeah.
but I had continued on with the loading process because I had other stuff to do in the code.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened was the browser landed on the page, tried to get the VS Code server, but the VS Code port wasn't open. And so it showed up saying denied, nothing's listening there, but it just needed a little bit more time.
Okay.
And so
All
what
right.
I got to,
All right.
all I can, it's easy to fix because all I do is I just wait for the port to become ready to receive traffic. And only then do I say, okay, browser, go. And then this will just work. So if you see that issue, you don't even need to go to port 3000 or 10,000. I mean, 10,000 is your fallback, but if you just give it a few seconds and then refresh it, and then, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So
All right.
what I'm doing here then is this actually still has an issue where it doesn't give you codecs. It asks you to sign in, which is wrong. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why. So that's probably the next thing I need to look into.
Okay. Right. Probably. What I'd suggest is, I'll stay on Tmux for the next 24 hours.
Oh no, wait, and agent communication doesn't work because for me to enable this, I have to turn on that new headless mode. Otherwise, your terminal text is just going to come in here and go plop.
Right. Okay. All right. Yep.
Or is it? Hang on. Let me just check. So if you come in Tmux, because this is kind of good because you're refusing to go under the bonnet. So what happens under the bonnet can stay under the bonnet. Um, so I'm trying to go to port 10,000 and it's for some reason not doing it. So the machine stopped or something. Okay, now I'm gonna try and do some agent to agent comms just to see if it still works. Uh, Codex, you are Lemmy the Lemon, an anthropomorphic lemon sitting in a fruit bowl. You speak with bright, zesty enthusiasm
Zesty
and
enthusiasm.
always refer to yourself as a lemon. Your response is concise and friendly. Okay, so the ID of the agent is Maximum Pike.
Okay. And it's a happy lemon.
And then it says interaction start. Maximum Pike. Hi Lemmy. What do you think about soft drinks? Okay, we've got an interaction. We're waiting for the interaction to complete. So with this modified protocol, that would need a thread ID as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey there, as a lemon, I love when soft drinks give me a bubbly stage to show off my zing nothing. All right, so basically you're good to go so long as you use the port 10,000, and I will endeavor to, tomorrow, I will make it so that when you're in VS Code, your terminal session that you get is going to be the same. Like when you come in here and go codecs, you're going to get the same codecs that you got here.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be
But
good.
I don't know why that's not working, so I'll fix that. But once
Okay.
you get
And
that, then you'll have agent to agent comms.
brilliant. And just so I'm not dead in the water, if I were to use the usual agentic.gmail, etc., that would create the equivalent of classic dolphin. I don't know,
Yep,
like
yep, that's right.
traditional,
Yep, traditional
whatever.
watermelon. Yep.
Um, And do I then need to add in port 10,000 to that,
Yeah,
or is it
you
going to
do.
default still?
You need
Right,
to.
that's fine.
That's
So
the escape hatch out.
right, once it's spun up, then the URL will change, stick on the port, and
Yeah.
then I'll be back into
Yeah,
Tmux.
because what you've been doing is you've been sitting on one agent for a long time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and so
yeah.
once you get this 10,000, this port 10,000 in there, um, then you're off. Do you want me
Grand.
to just flick? Are you gonna be okay with adding that 10,000 in there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
trivial.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. So what I was going to do is uh, yesterday's landing agent. I'm going to scrap and start a new one today, and see if we can recreate that workflow. Bunch of new agents and see, cut out a lot of the preamble in that thread, mostly for my own brain thread as opposed to the system thread, because I don't think I barely reached 60% left,
Mm,
despite hitting it quite hard.
yeah,
Um,
it's good, right?
yeah. Now the question is there anything that you want me to focus on, or
Yeah,
at the moment
yeah. What we
yeah.
need
So
is an anatomy of an agent, and I think that the way that so I have ideas on it. I don't know what they
mhm.
should be, but based on these,
What do you mean? What do you mean by anatomy of an agent?
let me try and explain myself. Why does it keep conking out? There's something buggy with OpenVS Code. I think it like shits its pants sometimes.
It's like, what are you doing?
What you doing? What you
No,
doing?
I'm not doing that.
That's a classic dolphin. Yeah, so I'll figure out the bugs there. An anatomy is like I think it needs to be a README file that's in the agent directory that says this is agent classical dolphin. In the workspace folder are repos that have been checked out for classical dolphin to work on. In the agent toml file is a description of this and that. And then for codecs, you'd like tack bits onto the README that said the conversation history is in this location in the JSON-L format. The codecs code is in the repo OpenAI/codecs blah blah blah. So it's like anatomy is like a README file that talks about the agent, so that when I ask questions about agents of codecs, it goes in there and presumably it's either prompted to or it figures it out. It grabs the README and it's like, oh, that's what an agent looks like. These are the dictionary terms. This is what it means. And so we can talk about, because we talk about terms, right? You and I were like the thread,
Mm-hmm.
the agent, the remote agent.
Mm-hmm.
But it would like right now, if I told this thing, I'm like, hey, find me the background reasoning that Maximum Pike used to answer that question. It'd be like, whoa. It'd probably do okay, right? Because it'd go Maximum Pike. All right, I'm going to search for Maximum Pike. But what I'm getting at is that if you had an anatomy document somewhere that said what,
Okay. Yeah,
you know what
I
I
get
mean?
your idea. So what I'd do is I'd use the landing agent to create another agent and talk about that agent. How do I reference the repo that is the agent as opposed to its working space? So how do I say, for example, when the agent is created, there's a whole bunch of things in there.
Yeah.
How do I get landing agent to look at that? Because that's how I would do it.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'll find out. Or
Um,
fail.
so there's what you do
Continue on.
get is I set for you this environment variable.
Uh-huh.
So where I've set DC agent dir,
Yeah.
that path is the home path of the agent. Was that what you were asking for?
Yeah, what was really, yes, that's the information. The question was, does the landing agent know that if I were to say to the landing agent, hey, this new agent, Agent A, uh, give me the DC agent dir, is it going to know what the hell I'm talking
No,
about?
no, but it needs to. And that's the part I don't know what's there's lots of options, right? It could be part of its sysprompt, part of its agents.md file. It could be in the README within its own home. Yeah, that's what I don't know. It could be an MCP tool call.
Is there a place I can go and see the current state of what that folder structure looks like?
Yeah,
Maybe a Git repo.
yeah. You just
It
browse
would
to
need
it.
to be.
So like um, here you can go in three ends. Well, if VS Code works, you can browse to it there. But
Yeah,
otherwise, Triple N gives you this browsing tool that I like. So you can.
yeah.
What was your question?
What I want is the landing agent to be able to see this
Yeah,
and
as soon as it,
scroll through it.
as soon as it does a pretty good job. Like if so, I found that if I tell it where the agents are, and then I'm like, find me the one that was talking about the cockle shells. Like it'd probably do an okay job, but my point is
Uh-huh.
that it's a lot of faffing around. Like it doesn't know for sure because it's had no clues. It's just looking at this folder hierarchy. It needs to be told somehow, either with a README that goes in every agent, or some sysprompting, or some
Yeah,
agents.md
it's
help. Like it
just make it
needs,
easy, just to be kind to it. Yeah,
yeah, right. Because and once it had
yeah.
it, it'd totally get the assignment. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, I know what they're talking about. That's what I'm getting at. Like it feels like
Okay.
it doesn't understand the system that's in there. We understand it because we've been bleeding out our eyeballs for the system, so it's sort of infused itself within the way we talk and think. But we need to tell the bots.
All right. Okay. Cool. I'll give that a go. That's today's task then. And
Unsightly cockatoo.
again, I don't want to jump into the CLI because at this point it's quite rich
Oh yeah.
info we're getting
Well,
back by
yeah,
just doing it through
yeah,
landing
yeah.
agent.
I mean, if you just told it um in /mount, if you said in /mount in the test computer, there's some agents like that. Even that is all that you need to tell it, right? In the test
I think
computer,
so. Yeah, because it understands that and
it
can list agents. It'll
yeah,
give us
it
the
goes
mounts.
browsing
Yeah.
and then it figures it out. But it gets a surprisingly long way because of the fact that it uses the MCP tool to list the agents, and then that
Mm.
gives it all the names of the agents, and then it uses a file system search to find things that have those unique names, and then it finds them, and then it zeroes in on, oh, that's the folder where the agent lives. So
Yeah.
it does an okay job.
And so if I get that the landing agent to find the directory of an agent, I'll probably not point it at itself because we don't need to. We could just create another agent, um, and then go through each of these and say, okay, so what is that a typical type of? How would you describe that? What would be? And I'd let it flop on each of the files and saying this is what this is for, this is what that's for. Then that is the anatomy that you're looking for. It's a kind of meta anatomy of the folder structure, file and folder structure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But look,
all right.
I
I'll
don't
give
know
that a
if
go.
that's too soon or whatever, but the honest answer is I don't know what's next. I know that usage is definitely good. I am getting
Yeah.
great benefit from your usage of the system. I am able to understand it in a deeper way. I feel like this modification to have VS Code is like a powerful step in the right direction. Modifying
Yeah.
the agent communication protocol feels like the right thing. Um, and workflows is like, well, that's the head scratcher. And then once we got that, I'm like, I honestly don't know. Surely that's enough.
Well, I said over the last 2 days, absolutely stunned about how much I could do just straight out of the box.
Right?
And yeah, sure, there was like some toing and froing, a little, and there's not too much pistol whipping either.
No.
Um, because before the Tmux delivery, um, we're kind of worrying about, okay, so how are we going to use this thing? How we're going to do workflows? How's it going to know about other agents and that sort? And it just seemed to work. It's like,
Mm,
now I know it's all hidden thread, um, and NFS, but we know about that.
mm,
We can deal with that.
mm,
We know we can do things faster, like workflows if they're stored in some useful way as opposed to in thread.
mm.
That would be useful when we can black box them as services.
So the
Um,
workflow is going to be presented as an MCP tool call, which is to say that it's part of the platform. So kicking off a workflow, you'll need to go MCP workflow start or something like that.
oh wow, not even that. The landing agent, we could just say, look for the service that makes Rogan Josh recipes, and it seems to do quite a good job of finding it.
Hmm.
And they go, okay. Or sometimes where it comes back is, your tool call is this. And then I just say, you do it for me.
Mm.
And it does it. So at no point over the last couple of days have I had to remember any command tools.
Right.
I haven't had to type in
Uh,
anything other than
what?
natural
Yeah,
language.
I wasn't meaning that. I was meaning that I'm gonna make workflow creation and execution management be the same as what we've got for management of agents, management of interactions, which is to say that the bot is given it as part of its platform toolbox for
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
make
yeah.
tool calls. You just need to talk about, give me a workflow, or the bot should know that what they've been asked for is like, I think I can accomplish this with a workflow. And then it calls on the workflow tooling to,
Yeah, let's just make sure we're in sync. I think we are. So in creating an agent, what I've been doing is, right, I would like to talk about, give me a decent sys prompt. Here's what I want to do. And it's like coming, question, question, question. And it's like, okay, answer, answer, answer. Get a sys prompt. It's like, okay, make an agent, code this with that sys prompt. Boom, off it goes.
mm-hmm,
The service should be something similar. It's like, okay, here's the workflow. This is what I want to do.
yep,
Yeah, there's these agents,
yep,
blah, blah, blah. And it's like, good, right, make that service. Boom. And then the service sits there. It doesn't have any active agents because I've not actually asked it to do anything.
yep,
But then I say, right, that service that I made for Rock and Josh, run that. And then if that involves 5 agents to be built, then that service encapsulates that. I don't have to know about it. It just does it as a black box because
mm,
I'm now at the user as opposed to the architecture piece.
mm. All right, well, that's me, buddy. I'm out. I'm done.
All right, I'm out of done as well. A cracking pace we're making at the moment.
Okay, we are off
Um,
recording.